Could the universe be conscious? Imagine for a moment waking up to find that the entire universe around you, the stars, the galaxies, the very space itself, is aware of your existence. What if everything from the smallest particles to the largest galaxies was conscious, watching, learning, and interacting in ways that we, as humans, just can't perceive? The idea might sound like something straight out of a science fiction novel, or perhaps a dream of a mystic philosopher. But the truth is, this question, whether the universe itself might be conscious, has been posed by some of the most brilliant minds across both science and philosophy for centuries. And while we have long assumed consciousness to be something exclusively tied to sentient beings like humans and animals, modern science is beginning to blur the boundaries of this age-old assumption. Could it be that the cosmos itself, in some form, is aware? To truly grasp the depth of this idea, we need to first explore what we mean by a conscious universe. Consciousness, in the simplest terms, refers to the awareness of one's existence and surroundings. It involves the ability to perceive, experience, and interact with the environment, to feel emotions, and to have subjective experiences, often referred to as qualia. For most of human history, consciousness has been considered the unique domain of living beings, especially humans. However, recent advances in physics and cosmology have begun to raise some profound questions about the nature of consciousness, suggesting that it might not be as confined to organic life as we once thought. One of the most fascinating avenues of inquiry into this idea comes from the field of quantum mechanics. At the smallest scales of reality, where particles behave in strange and often counterintuitive ways, scientists have observed behaviors that challenge the conventional understanding of how matter and energy should act. Take, for example, the famous double-slit experiment. In this experiment, particles such as electrons are fired at a barrier with two slits. When observed, the particles behave like individual particles, traveling through one slit or the other. But when unobserved, the particles behave like waves, spreading out and passing through both slits at once. This strange behavior has baffled scientists for years. But one of the most intriguing interpretations of this phenomenon is that the act of observation, or consciousness itself, seems to influence the outcome. Could this be a hint that consciousness is not merely a byproduct of brains, but is somehow tied to the very fabric of reality? One of the scientists who has proposed that consciousness could be fundamental to the universe is the renowned physicist Roger Penrose. In collaboration with anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff, Penrose developed a theory called orchestrated objective reduction, OR. According to this theory, consciousness arises from quantum processes occurring within the microtubules of neurons in the brain. These quantum phenomena are thought to be responsible for our subjective experience of awareness. If consciousness can emerge from quantum processes in the brain, it opens up the tantalizing possibility that consciousness might be a feature of the universe itself, existing in every corner of reality. The idea suggests that consciousness isn't just something confined to living organisms. Instead, it could be a fundamental property of the cosmos, woven into the very structure of space-time itself. In this view, consciousness could be a universal phenomenon, manifesting in ever more complex forms as the universe evolves. Penrose and Hameroff are not alone in their thinking. Philosophers throughout history have also considered the possibility of a conscious universe. Alfred North Whitehead, a British philosopher and mathematician, proposed a theory called process philosophy, in which he argued that all entities in the universe, living and non-living alike, possess some degree of experience. In this framework, consciousness is not a trait exclusive to humans or animals, but a feature of the entire universe. Whitehead's ideas suggest that the cosmos is in a constant state of flux, becoming more complex and conscious over time. This process of becoming, according to Whitehead, is not limited to the evolution of life on Earth, but applies to the entire universe. Every atom, every star, every galaxy is seen as part of a cosmic process, experiencing and contributing to the unfolding story of the universe. According to Whitehead, the universe itself might be aware in some way, though the forms of consciousness it exhibits may differ vastly from human experience. The idea that the universe itself could be conscious might seem incredibly abstract, but there are also modern theories that hint at the possibility of a universal awareness. One such theory is the holographic principle, which comes from the world of theoretical physics. The holographic principle suggests that the entire universe can be seen as a projection of information stored on a two-dimensional surface. This theory emerged from work in black hole physics, particularly the work of physicist Juan Maldacena, who proposed that all the information in a volume of space could be encoded on the boundary of that space. In this framework, our three-dimensional reality might be an illusion, a projection created by the interaction of information at a much more fundamental level. Some theorists have speculated that this projection might have a form of awareness or consciousness. If the universe is a hologram, could it be that consciousness is woven into its very fabric? While these ideas may seem outlandish, they are grounded in serious scientific exploration, and they invite us to reconsider the nature of consciousness itself. If the universe is truly conscious, or at least capable of some form of awareness, it could have profound implications for our understanding of life, intelligence, and reality. It could mean that consciousness is not simply something that emerges from complex neural networks in living creatures, but a universal phenomenon present at every scale of existence, from subatomic particles to the grandest galaxies. But this idea is not just confined to modern science. Throughout history, many spiritual traditions have embraced the idea of a conscious living universe. In Hinduism, for example, the concept of Brahman refers to the ultimate, all-encompassing reality that is both immanent and transcendent. According to this tradition, Brahman is the source of everything in the universe, and it is both the universe and beyond it. This belief mirrors the idea that consciousness is not limited to living beings, but is a fundamental feature of existence itself. Similarly, ancient animistic traditions hold that all things in nature, trees, rivers, mountains, and even rocks, are imbued with spirit or consciousness. These traditions often describe the universe as a living, breathing entity where everything is interconnected and aware in some way. While these views may not align with contemporary scientific theories, they share a striking resemblance to the emerging ideas in modern physics and philosophy. Perhaps the most striking implication of a conscious universe is how it would reshape our understanding of life and intelligence. If the universe is conscious, does it mean that we are merely fragments of that larger awareness? Are we in some sense expressions of the cosmic mind, just as individual cells in our body contribute to the overall functioning of our own consciousness? If the universe is alive, what role do we play in its unfolding story? These are questions that no one can answer definitively, but they challenge our traditional notions of life, intelligence, and the nature of existence itself. At this point, you might be asking, how could we possibly test or observe such a theory? It's a why. Valid question, one that goes to the heart of the challenge in studying consciousness itself. Unlike physical phenomena that we can measure with instruments, consciousness is inherently subjective. It's difficult, if not impossible, to directly observe the consciousness of an entire universe. Yet, the mere fact that we are asking these questions about the nature of the universe, the possibility of cosmic awareness, and the very essence of consciousness suggests that we are on the edge of a deeper understanding, one that may forever change the way we see ourselves and our place in the cosmos. To dive deeper into the idea of a conscious universe, we must not only explore the scientific and philosophical theories that suggest it, but also challenge the very foundations of our understanding of space, time, and existence itself. If consciousness were embedded in the universe, then how would it manifest? Could the galaxies, stars, and black holes themselves have some form of awareness or intelligence? Could the fundamental forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces, have a deeper intrinsic purpose beyond what we understand in terms of physical interactions? One theory that has been gaining attention in recent years is known as panpsychism, which suggests that consciousness is a fundamental and ubiquitous property of the universe. According to panpsychism, all matter, not just living beings, possesses some degree of consciousness. Even the tiniest particles of the universe, such as electrons and quarks, might have rudimentary forms of awareness. This idea proposes a radical shift in how we view consciousness, suggesting that instead of being a special trait of complex brains or organisms, consciousness is a quality woven into the very fabric of existence itself. Panpsychism doesn't necessarily claim that atoms or molecules are aware in the same way humans are, but it implies that all things, whether animate or inanimate, experience the world in some minimal, fundamental way. One of the key proponents of panpsychism is the philosopher Philip Goff, who has argued that consciousness should be considered as fundamental as space, time, and matter. In his book Galileo's Error, Goff discusses how modern science, with its emphasis on physicalism, has dismissed the idea that the universe could be conscious. But he suggests that this approach is flawed because it limits consciousness to human-like experience and overlooks the possibility that consciousness is intrinsic to the universe. Panpsychism, according to Goff, provides a more elegant solution to the so-called hard problem of consciousness, which is the mystery of how subjective experience arises from the physical workings of the brain. By suggesting that consciousness is a fundamental property of all matter, Goff believes we can avoid the pitfalls of reductionism and better understand the nature of the universe. In some ways, panpsychism echoes ancient philosophical traditions, particularly those of animism, which hold that all things, whether alive or not, possess a spirit or consciousness. From ancient cultures around the world, we see the idea that mountains, rivers, trees, and even stones are imbued with some form of consciousness or spirit. While modern science tends to dismiss these beliefs as primitive or superstitious, panpsychism offers a scientific framework in which such ideas could be taken seriously. The challenge here is not to prove that every rock or tree is consciously aware in the way we are, but rather to acknowledge that there could be a fundamental level of consciousness present in everything, from the tiniest atom to the largest galaxy. One of the ways in which consciousness might manifest across the universe, according to panpsychism and other theories, is through emergent complexity. This concept proposes that consciousness is not a simple property that exists on a fundamental level, but rather something that emerges as systems become more complex. In this view, simple particles or atoms might not be conscious on their own, but as they come together to form complex structures like molecules, cells, or even galaxies, consciousness could begin to emerge in more sophisticated forms. This process of emergent consciousness could explain why we observe higher levels of awareness in certain organisms, such as humans, while still allowing for the possibility that even the stars or black holes might have some rudimentary form of awareness at their own level of complexity. The quantum mind hypothesis, proposed by physicists and neuroscientists, also ties into this emerging complexity. It suggests that consciousness could arise from quantum processes within the brain, potentially linking the brain's activity to the larger quantum fabric of the universe. Quantum mechanics, as we saw earlier, operates on principles that seem to defy classical understanding. The idea that quantum phenomena, such as superposition and entanglement, might be involved in the workings of consciousness raises the possibility that consciousness is not localized in the brain, but rather is part of the quantum field that permeates all of reality. If this theory is correct, then consciousness could be a universal phenomenon, emerging from the quantum fabric of the universe and affecting every interaction, from the behavior of subatomic particles to the formation of galaxies. One of the most profound implications of this idea is that intelligence, the ability to process information and make decisions, might not be the sole domain of living organisms. If the universe is conscious or aware in some way, then it could also be intelligent, processing information on a cosmic scale. This could mean that everything in the universe, from the tiniest particle to the largest celestial body, is interconnected and playing a role in the larger cosmic intelligence. This is a far cry from the traditional view of the universe as an indifferent and chaotic system where events unfold randomly, driven solely by the laws of physics. Instead, the universe could be seen as a grand interconnected network where each part of the cosmos is playing an active role in the unfolding of reality, contributing to the overall flow of cosmic intelligence. This brings us to an interesting debate about the nature of cosmic purpose. If the universe is conscious, is it merely a passive observer of its own existence, or does it have a sense of purpose or intention? Could the universe be actively shaping its own destiny, directing the flow of events, or even guiding the evolution of life in some way? Some philosophers and spiritual thinkers argue that if the universe is conscious, then it could be striving towards some kind of greater purpose or end goal. This aligns with certain religious and philosophical views, which suggest that the universe is not merely a random collection of matter and energy, but has an inherent purpose or plan. Others, however, propose a more deterministic view, where the universe's consciousness might be unconscious of its own purpose, simply following the laws of physics and cosmic evolution without any clear intention. This view suggests that the universe is a self-organizing system, evolving in complex and unpredictable ways, but without any overarching intelligence directing its course. It's a fascinating debate that touches on questions about free will, fate, and the nature of intelligence itself. At this point, one of the most important things to consider is the observable universe, the portion of the universe we can see and study. The universe is vast beyond comprehension, stretching across billions of light years, and it is expanding at an accelerating rate. While we can only observe a tiny fraction of the cosmos, the patterns and structures we have uncovered hint at something much deeper than a chaotic void. Galaxies form intricate spirals, stars are born in massive clouds of gas, and black holes with their immense gravitational pull seem to govern the fate of galaxies. Is there a hidden intelligence guiding this cosmic dance, or are these simply random processes? As we probe deeper into the mysteries of the universe, we may one day discover that the very fabric of reality is more conscious than we ever imagined. One of the greatest challenges in exploring the idea of a conscious universe is the limitations of human perception. Our understanding of consciousness is inherently tied to our own experiences, which are limited by the capacity of our brains and senses. How could we even begin to comprehend a form of consciousness that operates on a scale far beyond our own? Could we detect evidence of cosmic consciousness, or would it remain forever beyond the reach of our understanding? Perhaps the answer lies in a future breakthrough, one that could unlock a new dimension of awareness, allowing us to experience the universe in ways that transcend our current limitations. In the end, the question of whether the universe is conscious remains a mystery, one that may take us a lifetime or even much longer to fully explore. But as we continue to investigate the deepest secrets of the cosmos, we may find that the universe is not just a collection of stars, planets, and particles. It might be something far more profound, an intelligent, living system, teeming with awareness, guiding its own evolution and perhaps even our own. The journey to understanding this cosmic consciousness is only just beginning, and the possibilities are as endless as the universe itself. As we draw closer to the final segment of our exploration into the question of whether the universe is conscious, we must confront one of the most profound mysteries of all. What is the true nature of consciousness, and how does it relate to the cosmos? We have examined various theories: panpsychism, quantum consciousness, and even the holographic principle, and each offers a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility that consciousness is not confined to living organisms, but might be a universal phenomenon. However, as with all great mysteries, there are no definitive answers, only more questions that lead us deeper into the unknown. One of the key challenges in understanding cosmic consciousness is that our human concept of consciousness is inherently tied to subjective experience. We understand consciousness based on our own perceptions and emotions, shaped by the way our brains process information. This gives us a very narrow lens through which to view the vast expanse of the universe. How can we, as finite beings with limited cognitive capacities, fully comprehend a form of awareness that could be as vast and intricate as the universe itself? It's like trying to imagine what it would be like to experience the universe from the perspective of an atom, a planet, or even a galaxy. Despite these limitations, there are those who believe that we are already beginning to scratch the surface of this cosmic consciousness. As we develop more sophisticated tools, telescopes that peer deeper into the cosmos, quantum computers that explore the most fundamental workings of reality, and artificial intelligence that might one day mimic or even surpass human cognition, there is hope that we might find ways to detect or at least infer the presence of cosmic awareness. What if the universe is speaking to us through the very laws of nature, through the patterns of cosmic evolution, or even through the mysterious phenomena like dark matter and dark energy that we still struggle to understand? At this point, we must also consider the idea that we are not separate from the universe, but intricately connected to it in ways we are only beginning to understand. If consciousness is a universal phenomenon, then we too might be expressions of the universe's awareness. This perspective aligns with certain mystical and spiritual traditions, which have long posited that all things in existence are interconnected. In these traditions, the separation between the self and the universe is an illusion, and true enlightenment comes from recognizing this unity. Could it be that our own sense of self is just a microcosm of a much larger cosmic consciousness? If this is the case, then we might be part of a greater universal mind which has been evolving over time, expanding and learning from every experience. This idea can also be explored through the lens of complexity theory and emergent systems. If we accept the premise that consciousness is an emergent property, we might hypothesize that the universe itself is on a journey of increasing complexity. Just as consciousness emerges from the interconnected neurons in our brains, so too could it emerge from the intricate dance of particles, stars, and galaxies. The universe could be building towards greater forms of awareness, just as individual cells come together to form complex organisms. It's not a matter of the universe waking up all at once, but of consciousness gradually unfolding over time, manifesting in more complex forms as the universe evolves. In this sense, consciousness might not be a static, all-knowing force, but rather something dynamic and evolving, just as life itself is. We might be at a unique point in this process, where our own level of awareness is beginning to grasp at the deeper mysteries of the cosmos. In the far future, perhaps, other beings, whether biological, artificial, or something beyond our current comprehension, might experience the universe in ways we can't yet imagine. And as we move forward in our own scientific understanding, we might find that our understanding of consciousness continues to evolve, just as the universe itself is constantly evolving. One of the most fascinating implications of this idea is that if the universe is indeed conscious, then it may not be an impersonal, indifferent force, as it is often portrayed in mainstream science. Instead, the universe could be seen as a conscious, living entity, filled with intention, direction, and even creativity. This could challenge some of the most deeply ingrained assumptions in both science and philosophy. For centuries, we've believed in the mechanistic view of the universe, a cold, impersonal system governed by the laws of physics. But if the universe is conscious, it might suggest that there is a deeper intelligence behind the laws of nature, guiding the evolution of galaxies, stars, and even life itself. This idea could change the way we view not just the cosmos, but also our place in it. Consider the idea that the universe might be the product of a creative force, whether it is a grand cosmic mind, an inherent property of existence, or something entirely different. If this were the case, we could imagine the universe as a work of art, constantly unfolding and evolving in intricate patterns. Perhaps in a way we cannot yet fully comprehend, the universe itself is learning and adapting just as we do. If consciousness is indeed embedded in the universe, it might suggest that the cosmos is not simply a backdrop to the evolution of life, but an active participant in the process. This would also imply that everything in the universe, stars, planets, galaxies, and even black holes, might be contributing to the unfolding of cosmic awareness, each playing its part in a larger cosmic narrative. While this all sounds incredibly speculative, there are many who believe that we are on the verge of uncovering a deeper truth about the universe. Science as we know it today is still in its infancy when it comes to understanding consciousness. We've made enormous strides in understanding the workings of the physical world, but when it comes to consciousness, what it is, where it comes from, and how it fits into the larger picture of the universe, we are only beginning to scratch the surface. Perhaps in the future, advances in quantum physics, neuroscience, and cosmology will come together to offer a new understanding of the universe and our place within it. And if consciousness is truly a fundamental property of the universe, then we may find that we are more closely connected to the cosmos than we could ever imagine. The thought that the universe could be conscious opens up an entirely new realm of possibilities, both scientific and philosophical. It challenges us to reconsider our assumptions about life, intelligence, and existence itself. And perhaps most intriguingly, it invites us to reconsider our own consciousness. If the universe is conscious, then what does that mean for our own awareness? Could we too be part of a larger cosmic consciousness, a consciousness that is slowly awakening to itself as the universe evolves? Are we just fragments of something much greater than ourselves? These questions leave us with more than just speculation. They spark a deeper curiosity about the very nature of existence and our role in the grand scheme of the cosmos. So, what do you think? Is the universe conscious? Or is it simply a vast, impersonal expanse, devoid of awareness? We may never have a definitive answer, but the journey of discovery is one that will undoubtedly reshape our understanding of the universe, consciousness, and our place in it. And as we continue to look deeper into the cosmos, we might find that the greatest mysteries of all are not out there in the stars, but within ourselves. Perhaps in seeking to understand the universe, we are really trying to understand our own consciousness and the consciousness of everything around us. If you found this exploration of a conscious universe intriguing, leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Do you believe the universe could be alive, aware, or even intelligent? Share your ideas and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Cosmic Whispers for more deep dives into the mysteries of the cosmos. Let's keep the conversation going, because when it comes to the universe, there's always more to explore.